All right. Next one. Running through these. Oh, let's talk men's 60.
Let's talk it.
So, big day for Italy.
Big day.
1-2 between Ceccarelli and Marcell Jacobs. Ceccarelli had a great day in general. 6:47 in the prelim. Then comes back and runs 6:48 to beat Lamont Marcell Jacobs, who was 6:50 in the final. Jacobs, bunch of tape on his legs, limping around afterwards. That's obviously a big part of the story here. Guy just can't seem to be healthy now for an extended period of time. What were your thoughts?
I mean, Jacobs was already flirting with being off my list of medal contenders in the outdoor 100.
Yeah.
You know, you could argue like, oh, he's in health, it's a thing, and global outdoors last year, he obviously pulled out early. And now you have this kind of indoor season where, you know, he's losing a bunch of times, lost at the Italy championships, and he loses again here.
Yeah, but if you're going to lose to someone at the Italian championships, at least it's a guy who's now a 6:47 guy, in Samuel Ceccarelli. Like, it wasn't just a complete no-name. I'm looking for silver linings. But yeah.
Sure, you can look for all the silver linings you got there, but it's
he's not in your top. He's not in your top 8 anymore.
Yeah, he's not making a final in my mind.
What if his health fortunes reverse though? Last year he was healthy during indoors, wins World Indoors, beats Christian Coleman, then gets hurt before getting healthy again to win Euros.
So he's just taking all the bad health juju and putting it in the indoor season.
Yeah, maybe that's it. This wasn't...
His trainer's a genius. I'm going to hurt him in indoors so then he's healthy outdoors.
This wasn't a disaster. It wasn't good, but it wasn't a disaster for him. It could have... I thought there was a potential...
But the expectation is
way higher than this. Yes.
Is it a disaster if LeBron James gets knocked out in the second round? Yes.
We're keeping that LeBron James
thread going. Is it a disaster if DeMar DeRozan gets knocked out in the second round?
Well, Reese Prescott got last in the final. Prescott was the guy I picked to win the thing because he had run sub 6.5 this year. That's what I'm saying. It could be worse. I think the bigger issue is the injury, not the silver medal. It's all right. Now the indoors is done. How healthy are you for outdoors? But right now, yes, you have Curly ahead of him, Lyles ahead of him.
2.
Right? Rommel.
3.
Racy.
We don't know, but probably 4.
Coleman.
5. Seville. Blake. Olmanyala. Maybe DeGrasse.
Michael Norman. The 3 other guys in the U.S. who are going to run the 100 we don't know
Terrence
yet.
Jones is looking good now.
Yeah.
The guy from Botswana.
Tobago. Yeah.
I could keep going.
There's a log jam there, right?
Ashay?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. There's another guy too.
Well, so I'm looking at 60 times, right? I'm looking at just the global. Now that we're almost done, we got one more meet basically, right? So who really rocked it in the 60 this year? We have Bromell with the 6:42, right? Then you have Terrence Jones. You're going to have a lot of college presence here, and that's just true every year because they run it a bunch of times. So you have Bromell 6:42, Jones 6:46, Coleman 6:47, Samuel Ceccarelli, the guy who won, 6:47, then Mekhi Williams, then Reese Prescott, then Jacobs. But I think everybody thinks we're grading Jacobs based on what he's done, what he's capable of, which is low 6.4s.
Yeah.
Right? But still faster than Lyles this year. Faster than Ashay. Again, not a complete disaster, but if he's banged up going into outdoors, it's tough. It's tough to see. Because I think, what's it going to take to get in the podium this year? 9.8 low. Probably considering
9.84.
If the track is relatively
9.84.
The weather's normal, all that other stuff. Yeah, I think I said even last year, I thought a high 9.7 is going to win it in Budapest, I think. So he doesn't need to be exactly Tokyo Lamont Jacobs to get a medal, but he needs to be pretty close. And there's just so many guys right now that you could see in the mid 9.8s to mid 9.9s.
Here's my thing. How long can you ride off, can analysts hold on to an athlete's extremely valuable performance when it doesn't matter anymore? When does what he did in the summer of 2021 not mean anything?
You get him at least another Olympic cycle. Because he's going to go to Paris as the reigning Olympic champion.
So if he goes into this outdoor season,
Who are
gets
analysts?
knocked,
You talking about me and
gets
you?
out in the gets out in the semifinals. You know, he runs like 9.93, so he doesn't run awful, but he's like not there. Are we gonna go into 2024 and be like, keep an eye on Lamont? He just ran a 6:47 indoor time.
Oh, you're talking about us.
Or anybody. Like, how long can you ride the coattails of a extremely great performance?
Well, injuries give you a pass in a way that just poor performance doesn't. If you show up and people assume you're healthy,
yeah,
and then you run below expectation, people are going to be like, oh, wow, that's just who they are now. But if you show up and you have an injury, or you get injured right before, or you reveal injury right after, then you're like, okay, well, maybe I didn't see them at 100%.
I just think, like, track needs to do a better job at what have you done for me lately analysis.
Well, you have a microphone. You can do that.
Okay. So what has he done for me lately?
I mean,
he's running slower than college kids.
Well, but you say that every year, and a lot of people run slower than college kids. It doesn't mean anything. He won Euros at the end of last year in the 100. We're so focused on
that's true
World Outdoors, right? So again, this was not a good indoor season for him. I don't think he thinks it was a good indoor season for him, but it wasn't a disaster. This weekend could have been a lot worse, and this whole season could have been a lot worse. He slides down a couple spots if I'm making power rankings, but it's not something that he can't recover the first couple weeks of outdoors. Also, he's not competing in a country where he needs to worry about, well, now he needs to worry about top 2, obviously, but he doesn't need to worry the U.S. guys do about just making the team.
For sure.